Well,
I think Heather is also.
this is the good side. I mean, I can't focus. I go over and
Politically.
I have a right.
That was in my father's temple, it was over there.
So it, so anyway,
So I really never sat. I remember how many years I never sat.
it's kind of funny. I think.
Yeah.
And then you sit in the other place like.
I should. Great. Shabbat Shalom and happy Valentine's Day. Welcome to those who are here. Welcome to those who are watching online. I understand it is possible that you can only see the very top of my head and my kippah because the camera is on the wrong angle. So we are looking to fix that, and I also understand there were technical issues last week, so I apologize. It was really a tremendously, those of you online, it was a brilliant service. It was a fabulous service. It was the best service ever that you missed. Shabbat Shalom. And welcome to everyone, to those of you who are here. I'm delighted to see you. To those of you who are feeling redeemed by being on Eagle's wings, Mazal Tov on a victory earlier this week. There was a game, I hear. And Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I'm Rabbi Michael Feshbach, and we're here with Cantor Marshall Portnoy. And we open on page 128, Hine ma tov and ma yafeh hayom. Behold how good it is for all of us to be together, and how beautiful is this day, this Shabbat, this Sabbath day.
Eventually gonna get it out.
Hine ma tovu ma na'im, shevet achim kam yachad. Hine ma tovu ma na'im, shevet achim kam yachad. Hine ma tov, hine ma tov. Yalalai, yalalai, yalalai. Hine ma tov, hine ma tov. Yalalai, yalalai, yalalai.
130, Lechunaranana. This is mostly meant for those of you who are online listening. I am going to say later today in our Dvar Torah and discussion about this week's Torah portion that one of the miracles of Sinai is it says in Exodus chapter 20, verse 15, that the people, roim et hakolot, they saw the voices, which has led to the phrase to see the sound and to hear the colors as a way of describing the uniqueness of Sinai. That may be happening online right now, as people can hear but not see, or maybe they can see but not hear. And whatever it is, stick with us because we have found the camera remote and are attempting to fix it. Otherwise, I can just stand up on the mountain for the whole service. So we continue with Lecha Dodi, pages 138 and 139. Our usual stanzas 1, 2, 5, and 9.
La 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 la
Please be seated. Page 142. Shalom Aleichem. Peace be to you. With this essence, this sense of Shabbat in our lives. Shalom Aleichem. Malachei Hashem. Malachei page 143. Waking from his sleep, Jacob said, "Truly Adonai is in this place, and I did not know it." He was awestruck and said, "How awe-inspiring is this place? This is none other than the house of God, and this is the gate of heaven." Hetzi Kaddish, page 144. We rise and face Jerusalem.
Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Yalma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malutei. B'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei v'cholei Yisrael.
148, as we face each other but remain standing. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidbaro ma'ariv haravim, v'chokhmah poteach sha'arim, uvitbuna mishane itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umisader et hakochavim, v'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono. Borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech v'choshech mipnei or. Uma'avir yom u'mevi layla, uma'avdil ben yom u'ben layla, Adonai tzvaot shemo. El chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'ma'ariv. Bottom of 150. Everlasting love, you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai, our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kiro Avuto Le'olam.
Please be seated. So, all right, there were a lot of people outside today somewhere near us. I understand they were marching. Okay, it was a parade and not a protest, but the idea seems similar in terms of the impact on the city around it. Page 157, standing on the parted shores of history. We still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, the promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there, except by joining hands, marching together.
Tell you about the Eagles parade this morning. I have to talk through the microphone now because I don't know, something, a frog in my throat, an eagle in my throat. But I left Philadelphia quite early this morning because I wanted to avoid the traffic. It was all going the other way, which was great. And then I got here, I don't know, about 10:30 this morning, and I worked on the Purim music, and I worked on the Shabbat music, and then I met with our esteemed accompanist, and then I met with the choir, and then we started services together, and this is what I've got left. But
symbolic of all the people shouting their hearts out.
But that only means, you see, the music, it doesn't come from here, it comes from here.
All right, so the only thing I will say in response to that is mitzvah is an important concept in Judaism, and mitzvot means commandments.
Right.
But a commandment implies that there is a mitzvah. A mitzvah, and a mitzvah translates as commanders.
That's right,
Someone from DC here?
But what I'm saying is that we must, in the absence of this voice, we have to all sing together, okay, to make this really happen. So we're going to do that now with Micha Mocha. Thank you, Susan, for the microphone, because without it, I couldn't work.
Lost and found, looking for a voice. Baruch Hu Shemo. Page 161, chosen because it is Valentine's Day, but I do know you know this because we sang this for much of the first year that I was here, Let There Be Love. הפורש סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים. 162, ושמרו. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לתורתם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לתורתם ברית עולם. בין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לתורתם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לתורתם ברית עולם. וביום השליש שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לתורתם ברית עולם. The Amidah, the Tefillah. We begin with the introduction on page 164. We rise and we face east.
אדוני שפתי תפתח ופי ידי תהילתך. אדוני open up my lips that I
Baruch atah Adonai,
Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah HaEl HaGadol HaGibor HaNorah Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'Gomel HaKol V'Zomer Chassidei Avot V'Imahot U'Me'ir Gdulav B'Pneihem L'man Shemo V'Ahava Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magid Avraham V'Ezrat Sarah Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai V'Chayei HaKol Atah Rav L'Mashiach Hashivaruach U'Movin HaGasher V'Chalkel Ha'im V'Chesed Mechayei HaKol V'Rachamim Rabim Tzom
is a central claim of Jewish tradition. That the Torah was given to Moses on Mount Sinai. That Moses is sitting down for 40 days and recording what God says, which makes God, I suppose, the great dictator, but we won't go into that. And Moses is writing it all down, including the end of Deuteronomy, which describes Moses' funeral, which he is writing down, tradition says, while crying. Okay, some Orthodox scholars say maybe Joshua added the last chapter about Moses' funeral. But as Moses is writing all this down, what becomes known as the written Torah, the 5 books of Moses, Moses is asking questions. And Moses is also getting answers from God. And Moses asks any question that anybody ever asks about Judaism, including whether you can use a microwave on Shabbat. Despite the fact that microwaves have not yet been invented, to which the Orthodox response is, well, he was a prophet. Any question that any of you, including Jeanette, will ask about Judaism next month, Moses asked God at Mount Sinai. And so what Moses gives to Joshua is the twofold Torah, the written Torah, the 5 books, and the answer to all the questions that anybody could ever ask about Judaism, which is called the oral Torah. This doctrine of the twofold Torah is the basis and foundation of Orthodox Judaism. I'm not sure to this day, some ultra-Orthodox Jews may believe it literally, and some modern Orthodox Jews may take this sort of a little bit more metaphorically. But this powerful metaphor of the twofold Torah means that anything new that anybody comes up with can be answered and rooted in the tradition somehow. But here's the problem. The entire claim that the entire Torah was written at Mount Sinai, the central tenet of Orthodox Judaism, is nowhere in the Torah. What did the Torah say? What does the Torah says? What does the Torah say? What did get my grammar right, happened at Mount Sinai?
All 5 books were dictated to Moses.
What does the Torah say happened at Mount Sinai? The 10 Commandments.
Gotcha.
And maybe, not even, the people didn't even hear the full 10 Commandments. Maybe they just heard the first, not first. Maybe they just heard the first word. We'll come back to that. The promise and the premise of Jewish tradition, how wonderful that this portion falls on Valentine's Day. Because there are no kids here tonight, I can actually allude to this, I think. This is the most intimate relationship our tradition says that our people ever has with God. The boundary between heaven and earth is pierced. It is incredibly intimate. This is the one time it happens, and everything else in our tradition, Judaism says, flows from that direct encounter with God. That sense of intimacy and love between God and the Jewish people. But there are a couple of problems here, including the fact that it's not clear what the people heard and what Moses heard. And also there's another problem. And this is a problem that is central to this portion, but it applies throughout most of the Torah. And it's the problem with the term, "and God said." Now, what is the problem with the term, "God said"? Our view of God does not envision God having a body. If if God does not have a body, then God does not have vocal cords. And if God does not have vocal cords, what does it mean to say, and God said? Now, I'm going to give you, which I alluded to earlier, one solution. Then we're going to talk for a minute, very personally, because I'm going to ask you a really difficult question. I'm going to ask Bennett how God speaks to Bennett, or any of the rest of you who dare to answer that. And first, and then after that, I'll give you what a proof that our tradition is struggling with the very same problem. So, first, in Exodus 20, verse 15, right after the Ten Commandments are given, it says that the people roim et hakolot, that they saw the voices. It says it right there. I checked.
Synesthesia at its best.
Synesthesia, yes. And the phrase becomes they saw the voices and they heard the colors. Whatever that may mean, clearly, I think the tradition, it doesn't say that about any other part of the Torah. The tradition is trying to say something utterly unique is happening here. We'll circle back to one other answer in a minute. But first, a God with no vocal cords. How does God speak to you? Bennett, you want to go first?
Well, a book doesn't have vocal cords either.
Okay.
But a book records someone's thoughts, and those thoughts speak to me. So
Okay. Is it direct or indirect?
direct or indirect in what's
Okay, so when I'm writing a book and I'm an author, I have passion and I have feeling and I have emotion, and then I write it down and I give it to you and you're reading the words.
well, it depends on how well you wrote them and how
Ah.
carefully I read them.
Okay, so you can get the emotion from reading a book,
Certainly.
but we don't know if it's the same emotion that I put into it,
Well, I hope so.
right? We don't know.
And the next time I read the book, I'll probably get different ideas and different understanding of what you wrote.
Is that because I put it in there?
Perhaps.
Or are you just like seeing different things in it?
I'm both.
How does God speak to you, Elaine?
And that's certainly what we see on Saturday mornings when we sit around and discuss Torah. And I say, for example, we just discussed something that I never saw before, never thought about.
It's one of the greatest moments for me. I do this professionally. You should try this at home, though. But better with partners. Elaine.
God speaks to me through the sunrise, the sunset, the tides, the moon, it comes and goes, and the ocean. All of creation, to me, is from God.
Nature. Anyone else?
Oh, sure. I'll take another turn. God speaks to me through people's actions that reflect God.
Okay, now you get a label. Now you get called Reconstructionist. By being godly, that is testament to God in the world. Philadelphia, Mordecai Kaplan, Reconstructionist, is very close to here. So,
People who invent things, who discover things, are showing God's presence in their bodies and brains.
Janet.
Well, I've been a meditator since 1989, and through my meditations, I will see shapes, and they move usually in a circle, geometric patterns, mandalas. I see colors. Through the practice of shamanic drumming, which is a very specific meditation technique, and you go into what's called the shamanic state of consciousness. I've got
different guides and different experiences.
That's not
So,
God. That's not God.
okay.
But like it's an experience that is akin to the things I have in meditation.
So the answers differ. The level of certainty differs. There's a phrase that says, prayer is how I talk to God. Study is how God talks to me. But I want to share with you, in conclusion, a story, which some of you have heard before, which shows that the rabbis of the Talmud had the very same questions that we did. And it's clear to me that this story is meant to answer the question, how can a God who has no body and has no vocal cords speak to us? It is said that, because the rabbis were aware that they were exaggerating. They were aware that the Torah never claimed to be entirely given at Sinai. They know that the Torah only claims the Ten Commandments. So the people heard at Sinai the Ten Commandments. No, actually it says they were afraid. At the end of the Ten Commandments, at the end of chapter 20, it says that the people had gotten afraid and said, Moses, you go. But no, maybe it wasn't at the end of the Ten Commandments they said, Moses, you get the rest. Maybe it was after the first commandment. I am the eternal your God. That's it, right? And they said, Moses, we're afraid, you go get the rest. No, maybe it's not the first commandment. Maybe it's just the first word. They heard God say, I, and just that self-identification of God frightened them when they said, Moses, you go. No, maybe it wasn't the first word. Maybe it was the first letter. And the first letter of the first word of the first of the Ten Commandments is the letter Aleph, from the word Anochi. And the letter Aleph, unless it has a vowel, that's correct. You're all correct. Is silent.
Yeah.
Simon and Garfunkel. They heard the sound of silence. They heard what they experienced as a people at Sinai was the sound of the silent Aleph. In English, there's a word for that. It's called a pregnant pause. It's a pause that's empty with sound but filled with expectation. Think about that. And the rabbis say that God gave the entire Torah at Sinai. So what that means, in a sense, metaphorically, is they heard the sound of the, they felt this encounter with God, and the whole Torah flows from that. Deep, profound, and also they knew perfectly well that they were dealing with the Torah, which says, and God says, and they were dealing with a God which has no body. And that story is meant as an answer to that question. Our Ark door openers, if you'll please come forward. And to carry the Torah, Elliot, we continue with Seder Kriyat Torah, the service for the reading of Torah. Page 362. Page 366, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Please feel free to join us. The tradition for the Ten Commandments is actually to remain standing, but you don't have to, but anybody who would like to see it, I can read. You want me to read? How's your voice doing? Okay. So for a communal aliyah, please come forward. For anybody who would like to, come and you can see in the second column the familiar shape of the two-word commandments, but we start with Exodus chapter 20. You may remain in your seat seated. You remain standing, whatever you would like to do at this point. But because we are doing this as a communal aliyah, we don't repeat the second line. We just keep going. So, Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato, Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen. Vayidaber Elohim et kol hadvarim ha'ele le'mor. God spoke all these words this way. Anochi Adonai Elohecha asher hotzeiticha me'eretz Mitzrayim mibeit avadim. Lo yeh lecha Elohim acherim al panai. I am the Lord your God who took you out of the land of Egypt from the house of slavery. There will not be any other gods before my face. Lo ta'aseh lecha fesel v'chol timuna asher השמיים ממעל ואשר בארץ מתחת, אשר במים מתחת לארץ. You will not make for yourself an idol, any sort of pictorial graphic representation that is in the heavens above or on the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Lo tishtachaveh lahem, lo ta'aveh, you will not bow to them, and you will not worship them. Ki anochi Adonai Elohecha Elkana Oked Avon Avot al Banim Ashilishim Yalrebim Lesonai Yoseh Chesed La'alafim Le'ohavai U'Leshomarei Mitzvotai. For I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, regarding the sins of the fathers on the children unto the third, the fourth generation of those that hate me, but extending mercy, kindness, and compassion to the 1,000th generation of those who love me and keep my commandments. Lo tisa Eshem Adonai Elohecha l'shav. You will not take the name of the Lord your God in a vain, in a minor way. Ki lo yinakeh Adonai et asher nisa et shemo l'ashav. For God will not be forgiving to those who take his name in vain. Zachor et yom HaShabbat l'kadsho. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Sheishet yamim ta'avot. ועשית כל מלאכתך ביום השביעי שבת לאדוני אלוהיך. For in 6 days, 6 days you will work, and you can do any kind of work that you like. But the 7th day, that's a Shabbat to God, your God. לא תעשה כל מלאכה אתה ובנך ובתך עבדך ואמתך ובהמתך בגרך של בשעריך. You can't do any work, not yourself, not your child, not your son, not your daughter, not your servant, nor your maidservant, or even the animals, and even the stranger that is in your gates. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz et hayam ve'et kol asher ba'an vayanach bayom hashvi'i, because in 6 days the Lord made the heavens and the earth, the sea, and all that is in them. He rested on the 7th day. Therefore, Berach Adonai et Yom HaShabbat vayikadshehu. God blessed the 7th day, and He made it holy. Kabed et avicha ve'et imecha leman yarichun yamecha al ha'adama asher Adonai notecha noten lach. Honor your father and your mother, that the length of your days on this earth will be long, the earth which the Lord your God has given you. Lo tirtzach, do not murder. Lo tinaf, don't commit adultery. Lo tignov, do not steal. Lo ta'nev re'acha isha, or don't be a false witness with your neighbor. Lo tachmod beit re'acha, don't covet the home of your neighbor. Lo tachmod eshet re'acha va'avdo va'amato v'shoro v'chamoro chor asher re'acha, don't covet for yourself that which is your neighbor, his servant, his amato,
Male or female servant.
male or female servant, v'shoro, even his donkey, his animals, nothing that belongs to your neighbor.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei l'olam atah b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen. Mishaberach avotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov v'imotenu Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah hu yivarech v'yirapeh et hacholim ha'ela. O God, who blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, send your blessing and healing, your comfort and hope to all those who are in need of healing. We mention at this time Harry Martyr, Cynthia Baylor, David Wetzel, Sonia Kaplan, Carla Gash, Marilyn Burnson, Pilar Soraya, Dr. Stephen Capecci, Bobby Taylor, Charlotte Wasserman. Are there any other names in the prayer for healing?
Leonard C.
Linda.
Mary Jo E. Joe Sarno. Alex Flynn. Charlotte Schulberg. Larry Goldman.
Baruch atah Adonai Rofeh Cholim. We praise you, O God, who helps us heal, who brings us comfort.
Bless those in need of healing with refuah shalom, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
For those of you who did not come forward earlier, I will try to hold the Torah up so the middle column can show you the 2 word commandments from the end of the 10 Commandments. Please rise. Torah asher Moshe livnei Israel Adonai b'yad Moshe. the other right. There we go. Carefully. Okay. Page 591. Shabbat Shalom. Please join us in the Weiss Lobby following Shabbat services here for candles and Kiddush. And let us wish each other a happy Valentine's Day for whatever chocolate or other celebration you are having later. There will be Torah study tomorrow morning, but it will be on your own independently in your homes. We are not gathering at Beth Israel as Julie and I are on our way to honor her father, her 99-year-old father, for a visit over this holiday weekend. Next Friday, February 21st at 5:30, there is a special recitation of Kaddish, followed by a 6 p.m. Tot Shabbat. There's no, I don't like saying this, there's got to be a better way. There's no adult service.
Well, come share Shabbat with
Yeah,
our youngest.
come and stay for the Tot Shabbat, but there's no separate adult service that next week. There's the Kaddish, prayer for healing we'll add in as well. It was actually very nice and really sort of a powerful experience, because in this intimate setting last month when we did this, people had a chance to talk about who they were there for Kaddish, and it was really kind of nice. So please join us and then stay for the Tot Shabbat at 6, and a program followed by dinner for Tots and their families. Please RSVP if you are a Tot, Ellen. It's $20 for your family, Ellen. Please RSVP. The next J-Place book group will take place Wednesday, February 19th. The selection is
The
Love Elixir?
The Elixir of Augusta Hart.
Love Elixir of Augusta Stein by Linda Cohen Leutman.
Augusta Stern.
Stern. Okay.
I suppose.
2 Purim celebrations, one on March 9th, Sunday, March 9th, a Wicked-themed Purim carnival, games, prizes, escape room, costume contests, and more. That is $36 per household. And back this year is the basket raffle. If you'd like to donate a basket to be raffled, please contact Miss Cookie, whose birthday it is today, by the way. And then on Friday, March 14th, our choir has been working on this. Talia will be here. We think Heather will be here as well. We are having a mini Megillah reading and a Dylan and Wicked Purim. Pizza dinner, games, and Purim trivia follows. Cost is $18 per household. So Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
People are to join the choir, and especially if this is for Purim, you don't even have to sing right.
It's a Dylan.
I sing into the microphone for the Dylan songs. It's the only time all year I sing into the microphone. It's Purim, after all. And remember that, you know, in the days before cars, the tradition was that you're supposed to get so drunk you can't, but we don't do that when you're driving a car. So no to that custom. As is the custom of our congregation, should you choose to do so, should you feel comfortable doing so, we ask that you rise when we call the name of a loved one so that we may know that you are here in mourning and in memory. And then we will, as is the custom in most Reformed synagogues, rise as a congregation as a whole for Kaddish Yatom, for the mourner's Kaddish itself. There are stars whose radiance is visible on this earth, though they have long since ceased to exist. There are people whose light and whose warmth continue to shine for us, though they are no longer among us. These stars which shine in the dark of the night, they light the way for humankind. We remember at this time those of our congregation's beloved, whose yahrzeit occurs on this Shabbat: Hannah Abramson, Hannah Bacharach, Julia Belber, Bertha Brooks, Max Cohen, Sarah Cohen, Valerie Factor, Tony Fahn, Florence Forrest, Lee Forrest Black, William Gardner, Isidore Geller, Julius Goldberg, Robert Bob Glayman, Eleanor Goodman, Edwin Goodman, Sarah Hoffheimer, Samuel Katz, Rochelle Katz, Peter Kernan, Sarah Laboff, Solomon Levine, Gussie Levine, Martha Mallon, Gloria Matlick, Martin Nelson, Abraham Perkins, Samuel Priest, Howard Resnick, Hannah Richmond, Kate Rosen, Sheldon Schaffer, Aaron Sokolsky, Eleanor Sunken, Anna Strasser, Edward Weislow. During this period of Shloshim, I mentioned the name of Rosa Pupko, and I ask if there's anyone here to say Kaddish for someone whose name I did not mention. The memories of all of our loved ones are with us. Our griefs and sympathies are mingled as we turn to page 598 and we rise as a congregation. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba v'alma tivrach kirotei v'amlich malchutei v'chayechon v'yomechon u'v'chayei techol beit Yisrael agalau v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabba v'orach le'olam olmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei d'kuruchshav b'richu le'elam im kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata da'amiran v'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'romav u'ya'aseh shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn in our midst and comfort all the bereaved among us and wherever they may be, all those who are suffering the pain of loss everywhere. And together let us say, Amen. We conclude with Adon Olam, page 625, the single standard only version of Adon Olam that has ever been written.
Do you know this?
Yes, I think they do. Yeah. Adon Olam, Asher Asher Malach, B'terem Kol Yitzir Ram, V'yetnasa V'chetzoko, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra, Shalom. Sure. Wow. How you doing?